The day is Tuesday, February the 4th. The date has nothing to do with anything. I don't know why I said that. And you get home from a long day at the office. You sit down on that comfy chair you like and fire up the TV because you deserve this. Yes, imagine you're this middle-aged man with a beard in this scenario. Obviously, that'll be easier for some of you than it will for us. You load up your brother's Netflix account he forgot he gave you the password for, and you see the top 10 movies today section. You peek around for a minute, but you're not overly worried about the choice. You just want to get the show on the road. You throw on The Gray Man. Heck, it's got a few of those actors you like. A getaway driver taking on Captain America type beat. Seems good enough. You grab a bag of Lay's Poppables because you love the way they don't make your hands sticky like regular chips always do. But here's the kicker. You don't bother to pause the movie while you get up and grab those salty little bite-sized potato units. No, you're not too worried about missing a line of dialogue or watching this weird CGI plane scene. I mean, the lights are on in the kitchen right beside you anyway. How deep can you really sink into this thing? Because you may not know it, but within this metaphorical scenario you find yourself in, you live in a nice, open concept bungalow. Your wife is in there doing the dishes. The movie rages on as you get to the scene where Captain America and Ken begin to throw down. But you kind of missed it because you got a notification on your phone that RecRap has uploaded a new video and you're dying to see what kind of content he may have posted. However, there's more to the story here, you realize. As you remember hopping on your phone a bit earlier during the movie to check if there's a low pressure system coming your way on the Weather Channel app, and you also couldn't help but scroll through Twitter a few minutes after that to see if there's been any update in the Greta Thunberg versus Andrew Tate ratio battle. And you think to yourself, so what? I missed a minute or two of this movie I'm not even that into. You still get what's going on in this simplistic plot and easy to follow script, and by no means do you despise the movie. You don't hate it at all, but you soon realize it's more of a time passer than anything else. You think to yourself, this movie serves more as a much needed distraction for the brain after the long day you had at the office, and the fact that you're already almost finished your bag of poppables. The movie is fine, you think, but deep down you realize it certainly didn't encapsulate your mind or transport you to a new place like you know movies can. Then, being the thinker that you are, you begin to realize an even deeper issue. You can't remember the last time a Netflix original, or any direct-to-streamer for that matter, engulfed you in a way that movies have the ability to do. You think, is that because of my sometimers? Or are these movies just not hitting like they used to? The light bulb comes on. You realize this is because you've been consuming content, as opposed to film. Now let's jump through the multiverse and watch February the 4th play out a little differently. Wait, first I gotta find the music button. Alright, let's go. I took a wrong turn here, one sec. Check my GPS here.
The destination is on your left.
Oh, okay, thank you. Let's try this again here. Oh my gosh, I forgot the music again. Here we go. Sorry guys, a bit of turbulence there, but we're just getting ready to land, and made it. Whew, what a trip. Now let's see what would have happened if you chose to watch a film, rather than content. It was the evening of Tuesday, February the 4th. You guys already knew the date, and it's still irrelevant, I don't know why. And you got home from a long day at the office. Not as long as the day you had in the other universe, because Kathy brought in donuts today and you were able to sneak, but a long day nonetheless. You try to boot up Paramount Plus, because you want to watch that latest Yellowstone spin-off with Harrison Ford. But to your shock and dismay, the app has logged you out for some strange reason. You think to yourself, I don't deserve this. And to make matters worse, much worse, you can't remember your password for the life of you. You text your son, thinking he should know your login. But oddly enough, he doesn't. Instead, he hits you with the, "You have Paramount Plus? What's even on there?" text. You're fuming at this point, not only because of your login mishap, but because you're not too sure what's even on there either. You thought it was going to be a good day. The donuts from Kathy, in which you stole two and no one noticed, leaving early from the office. I mean, things were going your way. You decide to fire up the old trusty steed, Netflix. Netflix is like that one toxic ex. You spot the top 10 today section, but this time, you scroll right past it. You don't fall for no algorithm in this universe. especially one featuring assembly line style pieces of content? No. You may have fallen for that email fraud a couple years ago, where you ended up sending away your social insurance number, $10,000, and your firstborn child to a scammer down in Indonesia. But you don't fall for this. You scroll right by that nonsense. You even say, "see ya," to the movies as you scroll by them, which is a weird thing to do, but it's what you do. You even turned off motion smoothing in this universe. You're a hero. This time around, you look for almost anything that doesn't have the red N on the corner of the poster. You don't want anything that's direct to streaming. You end up throwing on Nightcrawler. You haven't seen this one. Heck, you liked Jake Gyllenhaal and thought, this plot sounds intriguing. You think to yourself, at least it's something different. The film rages on. You're digging it. Really digging it. But there is one issue. A real issue. You're craving a little snack. You holler down the hall to your wife. Yes, you heard me right. You had to yell down a hallway. No open concept bungalow in this universe. However, she can hardly hear you because of the running water crashing onto the plates as she washes them. And because she's partially deaf in her left ear in this universe. She hollers back, but you can't make out what she said. You think, am I partially deaf too? You decide to continue being a hero today and get up to go grab your own chips. This time, regular Lay's chips. You haven't yet discovered poppables in this universe. However, this time, you pause the film before you go to grab your snack. You don't want to miss a single beat of this thing, what you believe to be a fantastic film so far. Again, the movie rages on. You're enthralled. You're transported. The film is making you think. It's tackling larger issues and has clever commentary on the current climate of society. And a cool red car. You think to yourself, damn, I love that car. You're just loving this movie. The movie is challenging you as a viewer and encouraging you to use analytical thinking skills you almost forgot you had. You use them same skills to realize you were watching a film, as opposed to content. Guys, I'm sorry for my weird and unnecessary intro, but you get the point. Actually, I don't know. Does anyone get the point I was trying to make? Anyways, let's talk about something I've been thinking about for a while now. The idea of content versus film. Is it semantics? Am I a wannabe pretentious loser on YouTube?
Yes, definitely. Absolutely.
I rigged it.
Or is there actually something to it? In this video, we're going to cover why everything seems to go direct to streaming these days. And does direct to streaming and titles released directly to video on demand cheapen a film? The closing gap between content and film and what that means for cinema. And lastly, is artificial intelligence the next Steven Spielberg? But I can't lie, I'm kind of lost in the multiverse right now. So while I figure out this stupid GPS,
Do not call me stupid.
and find a wormhole into the start of this video, let's hear from the sponsor of today's said video, Atlas VPN. No matter which universe you find yourself in, surf the internet privately and safely using Atlas VPN. Don't be this guy, falling for malicious links targeting your sensitive information in this digital age we live in. With Atlas VPN, you always keep your Google searches in private. You can browse the web with real and organic search results, and do it without any unwanted tracking of your activity. My favorite part about Atlas VPN is that I'm not region restricted when it comes to binging my streaming content. Watching a fantastic film like Nightcrawler on Netflix is something that is impossible for me living in Canada. But with Atlas VPN, I can simply change the location of my network, boot up Netflix again from a different region, and boom, I have a vast amount of new content at my fingertips that I wouldn't have had before. Right now, Atlas VPN is running a huge discount. It means you can get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Time is running out, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. You get private internet browsing, protection from ads and malware, as well as the ability to save some coins while shopping online. Atlas VPN works on all of your devices with a single subscription to block all the malicious links, ads, and trackers, and even notifies you when someone is trying to steal your data. Never settle for missing out on your favorite content again. Take advantage of the huge discount. You get a 3-year subscription for just $1.99 a month with a 30-day money-back guarantee. This discount won't last forever, so get your deal by clicking the link in the video description below. Alright guys, huge shout out to Atlas VPN for partnering with me on this video. It would mean the world if you guys would check them out in the description. And without further ado, let's get into it. The streaming wars are well underway, and we are seeing... we got friendly fire here. Disney Plus just took out Hulu. You hate to see that.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Disney just has too many dogs in the fight, if you know what I mean. With each different company creating their own original content to entice consumers to spend their hard-earned cash on a subscription to their particular service, originals like Stranger Things on Netflix, The Mandalorian on Disney+, or Yellowstone on Paramount+, but also some episodes on Peacock. I know, it's confusing. Look, here's a quick tutorial on how to watch the new season of Yellowstone properly. You know, just in case your parents stumbled across the video, in what I'm calling the How to Watch the New Season of Yellowstone Properly guide. So we got the first 3 episodes on Paramount+, next 3 on Peacock, and then you gotta jump all the way over to Quibi for the season finale, which is great actually. I mean, if you want to see Kevin Costner, all you gotta do is pull out your phone anywhere you are. But if you want to see Kevin Costner on a horse, you simply turn it to landscape mode. I mean, Liam and I love Quibi. You get the point. All these major streaming platforms want you to subscribe to their platform for their original content. These companies want that guaranteed monthly revenue from subscribers like you and I. It's ideal for investors as they much prefer an assured quarterly income over the risk they may run by distributing a potential flop into the theaters. It's far less costly to distribute onto their own digital platform. I mean, the theatrical release often requires the giant marketing campaign to create buzz, and then sharing the profits with the theater companies. Nobody likes to share, right? And not that it's cheap to run a streaming platform either. I mean, just look at Netflix's $13 billion debt. However, it is far less risk to release movies, especially in the low to mid-budget range, directly onto a streaming platform. This way, there's no need to worry about releasing a film like Narvik into theaters and having it bomb because audiences just aren't showing up for these mid-sized movies in a theater anymore. The trends show that the majority of viewers are more than happy to catch mid to low budget films in the comfort of their own home. Feet up on the couch, snacks that don't cost a mortgage, the ability to pause the film, no Linda texting throughout the movie, no little Timmy kicking the back of your seat. I mean, look at the smirk on this kid. You can tell he's a seat kicker. I mean, I get it. Going to the movies, especially after the global panini, just isn't everyone's cup of tea. I mean, reading the comments on my Knives Out video, I felt crazy for still preferring the theatrical experience over watching movies at home. Studios know that their movies better feature infinity stones, transforming cars, or Sully family portraits to draw in the masses to a theater. They have to give people a reason to take advantage of IMAX projection and that booming Dolby Atmos sound, when artistic storytelling just seemingly isn't enough. As much as I believe that no matter how great OLED televisions and quality soundbars become, nothing compares to the theatrical experience. The shared excitement as we watch something imaginative as a communal experience on a giant 75-foot screen, not a 75-inch TV. But hey, the majority seems to disagree with me, and that's just the way media consumption is evolving. And to be honest, my biggest issue isn't that movies are being distributed via streaming. I actually think it's great that filmmakers have more avenues to see their passion projects come to life. But rather, my biggest issue is that the vast majority of these movies are mediocre to awful. Furthermore, if you're anything like me, you didn't eat this week because you can't help but subscribe to so many of these streaming platforms that you end up running out of cash. Especially now with Netflix cracking down on password sharing. But if you're anything like my neighbor Bill, then you're probably still using LimeWire to download Game of Thrones in a foreign language dub, just to get an email that the FBI are on the way. But I honestly have a hard time blaming my neighbor Billy. I call him Billy. I mean, between the cost of all these streaming platforms and the overabundance of mediocrity within them, I often ponder what is really worth it. I can't remember the last direct-to-streaming original that actually blew me away. One that made me go, wow. Don't forget, we're just talking movies here. I know I brought up some TV examples, and lots of great original series have found their homes on these services. But if one thing has remained constant, it's that the movies are very lackluster. I'm usually more like this.
Wow.
Half the business strategy of these companies is banking on people like me to sign up for my free trial, watch the one show I was interested in, and then forget to cancel and have my mom yell at me for a new charge on her credit card. It's the same business strategy that gyms utilize, banking on New Year's resolutioners to sign up and then eventually forget about their membership, which I think is what happened to Bill. And it's just not worth getting yelled at because I end up skipping out on watching most of these direct-to-streaming movies anyway. Something about them just feels cheap. It's extremely hard to quantify and articulate this sense of cheapness I always associate with the movies when I hear they're going directly to streaming. I mean, it's certainly not due to the amount spent on these movies. I mean, look at how much Netflix spent on The Irishman. I suppose it's the constant letdown and albeit subjective, but poor quality these direct-to-streamers consistently have. It has conditioned me to expect mediocrity, and thus the prestige of a new major release is dampened in a depressing manner for me when I hear it skipping a theatrical run. Take Pixar, for example. Never in my life have I not watched a new Pixar release. I mean, they're responsible for some of my favorite films of all time. The storytelling geniuses that incorporate adult themes into a family-friendly and revolutionary animation style cannot be understated. However, I still haven't even seen Turning Red, despite the great reviews. As soon as I heard it was going to be released directly to streaming, my interest completely dwindled, and now the buzz is kinda gone. Take the first Knives Out, a film I absolutely adored seeing in the cinema. A fun, whimsical murder mystery with a fantastic original script that I love. Fast forward to today, and I almost let Glass Onion slip right under my radar.
Nothing slips under me.
Oh, shut up. As I just wasn't even excited to watch it on Netflix. If it weren't for my family all looking for something to watch one evening during the holidays, I don't even know if I would have bothered checking it out at all. Which is just crazy to think, as it's the next mystery in the Knives Out saga, and I loved the first film so much. The list just goes on and on for films that just feel meh. To give you another idea of what I mean, take the upcoming dinosaur horror flick 65. I'm eagerly anticipating this film's theatrical release, as I think it has the potential to be great. But had this thing been announced as a direct-to-streaming original, I probably wouldn't even have bothered to check out the trailer, let alone the film. Or the fact that my excitement for the upcoming David Fincher flick, The Killer, is unfortunately a bit lower due to it being a Netflix film. Perhaps it's from the overabundance of mediocrity with direct-to-streamers like Extraction, The Gray Man, or Red Notice. Or maybe it's from the years and years of straight-to-video-on-demand titles being so cheap and lackluster that it's conditioned me as a viewer to not be enticed by this medium of distribution.
Major distribution labels call me Bad Bunny numbers, it's a robbery. 500 million just for Aubrey. Go stupid.
I don't know why I did that, I'm sorry. Or perhaps I'm all alone here and nobody else feels this sense of prestige being drained away from so many of these movies.
It's gone. Don't leave so soon.
I don't know how many times I find myself curled up on the couch, watching hockey, eating my bacon with an ice cold cup of maple syrup, because that's what we do here in Canada, and an advertisement will start playing.
Ask your doctor if Viagra is right for you.
No, not that one. An ad like this.
Leaving only.
And I'm digging it, and I'm thinking, wow, this looks really interesting. I love Christian Bale. Wow, what a cast. And then boom, it says only on Netflix. And I'm like,
God! No! God, please, no! No!
Or half the time it turns out that they're already out on streaming platforms and I haven't even heard of them. No buzz, no prestige, just an overabundance of content to fill up these services. I almost get the sense that studios are using an algorithm to maintain retention amongst the masses and no longer bother with artistic and unique forms of storytelling. In a world with shrinking attention spans, videos diminish to 90 seconds or less.
Ma, will you punch your daughter for $1 million?
I will do it for Nutella.
And a society that seems to prefer having comfort food on the TV as opposed to a challenging drama, it got me thinking about passive engagement versus active engagement. Passive refers to having simplistic content glaring into your eyeballs while still having the ability to text a friend or check the weather at the same time. Something you would do when you're feeling a bit tired after a long day at work, for example. You know, watch a few mindless TikToks, pass some time, kind of like the video you're watching now. Whereas active engagement requires your focus and cognitive energy to truly dissect and analyze what it is you are viewing, allowing yourself to sink into the content and let it challenge you as a viewer. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a time and place for both. There most certainly is. But it really seems that we're heading towards only consuming passive content as a society. And unfortunately, I feel like this principle has bled into our movie production. You ever feel like a lot of the big budget releases as of late feel like they come pressed out of a machine? Virtually the same plots, CGI chaos, quippy one-liners, and bright colors? It seems far more rare that we actually receive a genre-shifting experience that feels artistic, as opposed to more artificial. A lot of these direct-to-streamers feel as if there's a template that has been curated in a lab to maximize audience retention, and then the machine produces the same product over and over, just with a different skin. Kind of feels like Hollywood is creating the fast food of movies nowadays. But this use of algorithms within production of movies isn't the only dangerous aspect of this very topic. Algorithms are steering our taste into a comfortable direction, and nowhere else. Streaming service algorithms use different aspects of your behavior to inform the way the company will categorize, sort, filter, and present different types of content. This spans formats from films, TV, and music to different recommendation sources, labels, genres, playlists, and other users who may share your tastes. To track your behavior and assemble a profile, these platforms make sure that only one individual is associated with an account. Even when you pay for an account that can cater for several people on Netflix, Amazon Prime, or Apple TV, it offers each individual a separate entrance, which will have all of your preferences, behaviors, and patterns. Algorithms operate at the back end of the interface. This has specific ways of indicating and nudging people into what they should choose, from prioritizing things at the top of the search or display buttons, to colors and even images. Netflix previously revealed they even personalized thumbnail images for some shows, with the algorithm picking out the most appealing, depending on the individual's viewing history. I mean, just look at how many different ones they had for Stranger Things, depending on what genres your account is typically linked to. The aim of Netflix's personalized recommendation system, just like those of its competitors, has been to get the right titles in front of each of their members at the right time. But Martin Scorsese fears machine learning simplifies the user's experience. He says that algorithms are reducing everything to subject matter or genre, rendering any kind of curation and understanding of artistic worth meaningless. Scorsese has stirred up lots of controversy when he shares his opinion on the matter, when he says things like, content is now a business term for all moving images. A cat video, a Super Bowl commercial, a superhero sequel, a series episode. He groups those all into the same category of content. The arrival of Netflix's top 10 list last year caused a stir by revealing some surprising inclusions that gave some indication of the platform's approach. In a Guardian article asking why choices were so unhinged, the author wrote, "Netflix doesn't make money from acclaimed hits or respected output. It succeeds by getting people to spend a massive amount of time on their site. This meant offering content to accommodate any person in any mood and making sure they don't close the tab. So artistic integrity isn't always the priority, as shown by the rise of ambient TV. Instead, the focus is on pulling in the numbers, which means some of the best shows don't get the promotion and therefore eventually get cancelled. Take a show like The OA on Netflix, which was critically adored but cancelled after 2 seasons because it just didn't get the mainstream buzz to justify it. Some of the best stuff on streaming seems to get little buzz, while tons of marketing and publicity is thrown behind more generic fare that they know people will watch. Algorithms alone can't be blamed for people consuming lowbrow content, as opposed to series and movies that are deemed worthy, because people have flocked to easy viewing over acclaimed dramas on television for years, and the same goes with movies in today's climate. With all that being said though, I think content and film can actually evolve to have a much healthier connection with one another. Take the most recent Minions movie as a quick horrible example. It ended up grossing a ton of money, with a large portion due to the infamous Gentle Minions trend that went viral on TikTok. Sure, Minions isn't the greatest film, but my point is that the two mediums can use each other in a far more effective manner than simply trying to compete for the same passive engagement. The film world is full of intriguing what-ifs. Will Smith famously turned down the role of Neo in The Matrix. Nicolas Cage was cast as the lead in Tim Burton's Superman Lives, but ultimately it got cancelled. Actors and directors are forever glancing off projects that never get made or that get made by someone else, and fans like me are left wondering what might have been. However, for the people who make money off movies, that isn't good enough. If casting Taylor Swift instead of Margot Robbie is the difference between a flop and a smash hit, production companies want to know. If a movie that bombs in the US would have set box office records across Europe, they want to know. And now, artificial intelligence can tell them.
You should never replace anyone with Taylor Swift.
Draw the cat eyes sharp enough to kill a man.
Uh-oh, here comes another album.
I think that AI is playing a major role in movies seemingly being demoted to simple mainstream fare, as opposed to complex art form, and I thought it was worth a mention here. AI has a way of informing these production companies what is safe for the box office, which often makes the guys in suits happy, but safe isn't a word that should be used when it comes to the artistic medium of film. Of course, I already mentioned the impact it's currently having on deciding which content to show you when you log into your favorite streaming platform. But look at how AI art has already evolved to show you how the Avengers would have looked, for example, if it were to have been directed by Wes Anderson instead. How long until we can create our very own movie tailored exactly to what we like as individuals? But this topic has larger implications within the world, such as robots replacing fast food employees and self-checkout becoming the new standard for when stealing produce from your local supermarket. I mean, how long until creatives are rendered obsolete too? Didn't expect a deep philosophical commentary on this random YouTube video, did ya? Guys, if you stuck around to the end of the video, thank you so much. I know I rambled for a while on this topic and made you sit through that bizarre intro, but I'm dying to know what you all make of this. What are your thoughts on content versus film? Streaming versus theaters? Anyone else know what I mean when I say that a movie oftentimes feels cheaper, despite not even seeing the finished product yet? Whatever it is you're thinking, I want to know it down below. If you just stumbled across the channel for the first time, stick around as we're doing weekly The Last of Us breakdowns, movie reviews, and more editorials just like this one. A like would mean the world, and if you enjoyed the video, hit that subscribe button to become a legend. Don't be a bystander. Alright, I'm off to go find my next video to make.
Who was that cute robot from earlier?
What? I thought you were broken. I'll just remember the music this time. Peace.